Hello and welcome. This is Kristen from the Online Selling Show, and I'm doing a multi-part series on what it's going to take to either grow your business or start a business where you can have it as a full-time income, or like I said, grow it into being a much higher volume business for yourself. Now, to give you some background, I've been doing this for 22 years. 15 years ago, 15 years or more, I went into wholesale. I've been doing that model with a lot of different marketplaces. And about 11 years ago, a little over 11 years ago, I quit a full-time job making six figures working for the state of New Jersey. So what is it going to take to get a business that may be a hobby business off the ground to being a full-time income? Part one, I talked about getting comfortable with fear and having tenacity. Another thing in this part I want to talk about is knowing systems. And these aren't systems that are like computer software systems or having somebody else train you in how they're doing their business. You are going to have to come up with what's going to work for you. I've taken a lot of courses, signed up for a lot of people's services to use, and I'm going to tell you, after many, many, many ways of going through this, it's what's going to work for you, because you may need to do this out of a necessity. Maybe you have a parent that you're having to take care of, or a kid. Maybe it's a necessity because you lost a job, or you weren't able to get a second job that you needed or wanted, and this is going to provide that extra income. Whatever the circumstances are, nobody can cookie cutter this for you. Me particularly, my husband gets up early and works, and he's always saying to me, well, you need to get up and early. And that's like, no, I'm a night owl. I know that my productive time is at night. So for me, I have to make a system that was working for me. He can make his own hours, which is the blessing of being able to work for yourself, right? So what do I say is, I would tell you that you have to sit down and take some time, go somewhere where it's quiet, and start writing out what tasks are there to do. There's bookkeeping, there's shipping, there's photographing, there's listings, all of those specific tasks that have to get done, and then start putting them into a cohesive way. For me personally, I've tried now with this new eBay business that I'm getting off the ground, and I've tried to do like photographing and listing for a day or two's worth of listings, and I don't work that way. I want to bulk it. I want to chunk it out, whatever term you want to use. So for me, it's better for me to do like a week or two's worth of work to get it done, to give me that next freedom to go into the next thing. I know I'm a person that, like, if I get into analytics, I get into the analytics. I'm there for an hour or two kind of thing. And I don't like to feel that I have to go to another appointment, or I have to do this or do that. I'm not a person who wants to work with a defined clock, so to speak, which is why this business has worked very, very well for me. And I have worked in, like I said, I worked for the state of New Jersey. I worked in a specialized unit. I ran this specialized unit. So I've worked with very definitive times and everything. So it's not that it's a personality flaw of mine, but it's just the preference of mine. And there's a difference of what I'm saying in there. And it's like, you may be working and be efficient at it, but it may not be the way that is the most natural for you. And that's going to be where you're going to have to think about how this system is going to flow. If you're a person who's very productive for 10 or 15 minutes, and then you get drawn away to something else, then figure out how you're breaking stuff down into those 10 or 15 minutes. If you're a person, like I said, I'm usually a 10 or 15 minute person, but if I get into numbers, I'm going to be there for an hour or two. So if you're that kind of a person that changes depending on the task, then figure that out. And maybe you have one day that is just all administrative, which is how I will typically work this. is if I have to get like all the stuff together for my accountant, I would rather sit down in one chunk, get all that crap together and get it off my plate and be done with it, because I don't want to have to keep stopping and starting and trying to figure out where I was and that kind of stuff. But when it's doing like pictures and stuff, I'd rather take 6 or 8 items worth of pictures, sit down, edit all those pictures, and send it to my email and move that item out of my way so I'm not looking at it the whole time. So there's different things that you're going to have to basically learn about yourself. And I'm talking what you know, not what other people are telling you about, or I don't, know that you can sometimes even know that about yourself till you start doing something and then it's frustrating to you. And then you're going to have to step back at that point in time and say again, why is this frustrating me? And just keep working at it till you get to that point where things are just moving along and it's just a repetition at that point, and you can just do it without feeling dread and all that kind of stuff. Listen, we all have tasks that we dread. I get that. I hate tax time and everything else. But what does work for me, like I said, is if I can just take the one day, get it all done, and be done with it. I hate it and I dread it, but I'm not dreading it over a period of time. So I hope this kind of helps you. Like I said, people are going to be out there and marketing their system to you. I'm going to tell you, the only thing that I use, like in a system sense, is like the computer stuff. I find one that works for the most part of what I need it to do, and then that's where I'll work to their system. But when it's in my house and it's my business and I'm getting my stuff done, then I'm doing it at my own pace and in my own structure of sorts. I've done separate videos on networking. Obviously, if I'm going to an estate sale, I can't run their estate sale how I want it to be run. But when it's in my house with my business, with my tasks and duties, that I can manage. So I hope that gives you a distinction of what I'm talking about. Like I said, with the estate sale company, I did a special episode on that. I talk about how you can go in and work your way of trying to do some things with theirs. But when you're in their house, which is the estate sale, they're running their business, so you're coming in to their house. Look at it that way. I hope that helps you and makes some sense. There's going to be many things that's going to come up as a hurdle, and that's where it goes back to episode 1. Just keep the tenacity going. There's going to be fear, because maybe you're having fear that, you have too much stuff and where's it going to go. Figure it out. Just figure it all out. Get yourself these systems going. I guarantee you'll be successful with it. Just make sure you don't give up. I'll catch you on the next one. See you for now.